is going on, ladies and gents? It's Transit Gaming here, back with another guide to ride. Man, it's been a long time since I last did one of these, and so I know a lot of you are really excited to see this video finally come out. But yeah, for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Go Transit. Go Transit serves millions of customers in Ontario's Golden Horseshoe region with its commuter train and intercity bus services. So yeah, for this guide to ride, I'm going to talk about both the Go train and the Go bus. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this long overdue video, ladies and gents. Go Transit, also known as the Government of Ontario Transit for some reason, began its train operations in May of 1967 as part of a 3-year experiment for commuter trains in the GTA. Now this was very much needed because 1, the Greater Toronto area was rapidly expanding and urbanizing at the time, and 2, the CN Railways just didn't exactly have enough funds to keep its passenger trains running throughout the GTA. So in 1965, at the cost of $75 million in today's currency, the government of Ontario finally launched the new Go Transit system, and it began with services from Hamilton to Pickering. This route alone gained massive success for the transit system, and before long, Go Transit added new train lines to Milton, Georgetown, Bradford, Richmond Hill, and Stouffville. And finally in 1970, the first Go bus routes finally began their operation and sort of acted as an extension to the already successful Go train lines. They went beyond the Go train's coverage by serving the even smaller communities that are around. Yup, the Greater Toronto area sure feels more connected and convenient with the help of Go Transit. The Go train system currently has 7 corridors/lines, all of which depart from Toronto's Union Station for some reason. Now, Union Station is without a doubt the largest and busiest railway station here in Canada, and it continues to be improved and revitalized to open new facilities and to give passengers the even better experience. Today, in addition to connecting passengers to all Go train lines and a variety of Go bus routes, which I'll talk about later, Union Station also provides convenient connections to the TTC with the subway, streetcar, and bus stations. Amtrak, which goes from here all the way to New York City aboard the Maple Leaf, the Up Express, which I'll review in a future video, and finally the Via Rail, which will connect passengers to the following cities in Canada, which are Ottawa, Montreal, Sarnia, Windsor, and finally Vancouver aboard the Canadian. Oh, by the way, the station also used to serve the Ontario Northland Railway, which would go up all the way to Cochrane in Ontario. But yeah, sorry, back to talking about Go Transit. The 7 corridors for the Go train are the following: Lakeshore West, which travels from Union and stops at a few stations in Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington, before finally terminating at either the Hamilton Go Center station or at the new West Harbour Go station, which just opened back in 2015. And also on weekends, there are also express Go trains that take you all the way to St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. I bet a lot of you didn't know that, but yeah, moving on. Next up, we have the Milton line, which travels to, you guessed it, Milton, after stopping by the following stations that you can see on the map in Toronto and Mississauga. Here's the Kitchener line, which travels through Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton, Halton Hills, and Guelph, and finally terminates at Kitchener Station. Next up, we have the Barrie Line, which travels through Toronto, Vaughan, Maple, King City, Aurora, Newmarket, East Gwillimbury, and Bradford before terminating at Allendale Waterfront Station all the way up in Barrie. Now, York University GO was a station that was used on the Barrie Line from 2002 all the way till now. And in 2020, the station had to be closed because York University was closed due to the pandemic. And this year, in 2021, Metrolinx actually decided that the station had to be permanently closed and they were going to demolish it, which is very unfortunate if you ask me. Next up, we have the Richmond Hill Line, which is clearly the shortest line in the entire system at 45.9 kilometers in length, and it travels through Oriel, Altcomer, Langstaff, Richmond Hill, and Gormley stations before terminating at Bloomington Station, which is the latest GO station to open as of uploading this video, and it unfortunately needs better transit connections. Next up, we have the Stouffville Line, which travels through Scarborough and Markham, ending off at Lincolnville Station in Stouffville. And last but not least, we have the Lakeshore East Line, which travels through East Toronto and the Durham region for the most part, ending off at the Oshawa GO Station. Alright, so these are the GO train lines, but for the GO bus routes, which I'll talk about now, things are gonna get a lot more complicated. So I figured that the best way for me to show you guys the bus routes in the entire system would be to refer to this enormous and detailed map that I found at Union Station. And as you can see, just like with the GO train, almost all bus routes start at Union Station. I mean, it's no wonder, because the new Union Station bus terminal has like 2 floors full of parking spaces, indoors, and it now also serves Coach Canada, Ontario Northland, and Talk Coach Line buses as well. But anyways, the GO bus routes operate following the 7 GO train corridors, although there are routes that you can connect to at the terminal stations and at the GO train stations along the way. And finally, there's the Highway 407 corridor, which goes beyond the already existing train corridors. And also, another thing to note, yes, you can take the GO bus to Toronto Pearson Airport with the help of Route 34 and 40, both of which operate for 24 hours daily, which is good because, well, all of us have flights to catch 24/7. Each GO bus corridor has their own separate route numbers for the buses. So for example, the Lakeshore West corridor has routes 12, 15, 16, and 18 buses. But in addition to these route numbers, there can also be additional branches of the original routes represented by letters. So for example, like Route 21P, that's travel a different direction or length from the original route. The list of routes and corridors in the entire system should be up on screen. And you can pause the video to have a look at the corridor maps that were on screen as I was talking. The GO train system uses a plethora of push-pull equipment for the trains, with one locomotive pushing or pulling its bi-level coaches, although you can rarely come across these double-header trains, which probably means that one of the locomotives is being transferred somewhere. So currently, GO Transit uses the following types of locomotives in its roster: the EMD F59PH, the MPI MP40 PH3Cs, and the MPI MP54ACs. Now the MP54AC is currently the most powerful diesel-electric passenger locomotive here in North America at an incredible 5,400 horsepower. And GO Transit is in fact the launch customer of both Motive Power Inc. locomotives, which are the MP54 and the MP40. The MP series locomotives are also a big improvement from the F59s because they can pull 12 passenger cars or more at up to 150 kilometers per hour, while the F59PHs are slower and could only pull up to 10 cars. And so, unfortunately, the rest of the F59PH locomotives are going to be phased out in the upcoming years, so you guys better enjoy them while they're still here. GO Transit had also previously operated the EMD GP40, the GP40-2LW, the GP40TC, and the F40PH locomotives. GO Transit also owned these F7A units and B unit power cars for some reason. For the coaches, GO Transit has been using these bi-level coaches since 1976, and the cars were manufactured by Hawker Siddeley, UTDC, and Bombardier. Now, back in the early days of GO trains were instead pulled by these Hawker Siddeley RTC 85 coaches, which were single-leveled, as you can see. Now, one of these coaches, cab car number 104, is actually now on display at the Toronto Railway Museum downtown. So it's real nice that GO Transit decided to keep one of these coaches around for us to enjoy. Now for the GO buses, it's really interesting that the system operates single-decker buses and double-decker buses. The current single-deckers consist of the MCI D4500 CT buses. The double-deckers consist of the Alexander Dennis Enviro 500 buses. But wait, these buses do in fact come in 3 distinct configurations, which are the standard height version, the Go Anywhere version, and the super low version. Now these buses are honestly easy to tell apart from the outside, and each of the newer configs are noticeably shorter than the original standard version because of the height restrictions and challenges the standard version buses once had when they first entered service. And finally, GO Transit has a long list of bus types that are now retired from service. And so I'm going to list them using these pictures and text, as you can see. You guys will also notice that the earliest types of GO buses were smaller and more local than today's coach buses. In 2008, Metrolinx announced a regional transportation plan known as the Big Move that would work to improve transit systems across the GTHA. This plan is still in effect today with the amount of new transit projects that we're now getting. The Big Move aims to improve on the following aspects of transit here in the GTA, which are expanding rapid transit, connectivity to Pearson Airport, the expansion of Union Station, integrated transit fares with proof of payment and the Presto card, mobility hubs, and the investment strategies. You can see that even GO Transit needs to undertake these massive transit projects, and the continuous expansions of the GO Transit network are a big indicator of this. So starting off with the Lakeshore West line for the GO train, Metrolinx is adding Confederation and Grimsby stations to the Niagara Falls portion of the line. The Kitchener line is adding Mount Dennis, which will open in 2022, and Liberty Village stations to the line, with St. Clair and Breslau stations currently being proposed. In 2024, the Barrie line will open the new Caledonia station, with 3 more stations called Bloor Lansdowne, Innisfil, and Concord being proposed. The Stouffville line is proposing a new Finch Kennedy station and is planning to expand its rail service past Lincolnville all the way up to Uxbridge, where it's currently being served by GO buses. Lastly, the Lakeshore East line is proposing a new East Harbor station and the expansion of this rail line past Oshawa to Bowmanville and Clarington, which will add 4 new stations called Thornton's Corners, Oshawa Central, Darlington, and finally Bowmanville. In fact, there are also proposals for 2 new lines to be added to the GO train system, which are the Bolton line and the Midtown line, which goes to Peterborough. Unfortunately, it's not exactly clear on how these lines will work, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now for the GO buses, well, all I can really tell you is that they'll probably add additional branches to existing GO bus routes in the future, or maybe even more new routes that go alongside the Bolton line and the Midtown line. And one more thing, here's a future GO train system map that a Reddit user has created, and I have to say, I want this to become a reality so badly. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now finally made it to the part of the video where I will show you guys how to ride GO Transit. So let's get started. Now of course, when you ride transit, you always want to know your point of destination and how you're going to get there. And it can become tricky to figure this out if you're not using the right tools. And so the first tip I have for you guys is to download apps on your phone like Wiz and TripLinks. Now with these apps, you can simply search up the point of destination that you want to go, and your phone will search up the fastest routes for you to get there. What's really nice is that the apps will show you exactly where you need to get on and off the bus or train, and exactly how long until the next train or bus arrives. So with these apps, you guys will be able to travel anywhere using transit with ease. And keep in mind that you guys can also do all this with Google Maps as well. Alright, so now that you know exactly how to get to your destination, now let's talk about how to pay the fare on GO Transit. Currently, you guys are able to pay for your GO Transit rides by using a ticket or by using a Presto card. Keep in mind that paying for a GO bus ride is different than paying for a GO train ride. Now with a Presto card, you can pay for your GO bus ride simply by tapping your card onto the card reader inside the bus as soon as you board. And don't forget to tap off as soon as you leave the bus, so that your card will be charged exactly the distance that you have traveled. And also guys, riding the GO bus is honestly not as bad as some of you may think, because GO buses have awesome perks including free Wi-Fi, which for some reason doesn't work for me, baggage compartments underneath the bus so you can store all your luggage and stuff like that, the great views out the window, and just the quiet, comfortable tour busing experience. But anyways, next
stop, Prochaine Fairview Street at Maple Avenue.
On GO trains, you guys need to tap your Presto card onto one of the card machines that are on the station platform, and be sure to tap before you board the train. Now unfortunately, these machines can be a bit tricky to find at some stations like Union, so don't worry guys, with a bit of practice, you'll get used to it. Once the train arrives at your destination, don't forget to tap off at the station as soon as you get off. And with all these in mind, you guys are good to go.
Right.
Now traveling on the GO train also has great perks, just like on the GO bus, because there's onboard washrooms in some cars, there's quiet cars on some trains, you have a lot more space to move around and sit. Overall, GO trains are just a speedy, smooth, and comfortable way to get downtown. So yeah, definitely use GO Transit more often, and let's get back to talking about fares. Eventually, your Presto card is going to run out of money, and so you're gonna have to add value or reload the card. And to do this, you have to go to one of these ticket machines, which are found at any GO train station. simply follow the instructions on the screen and click on Access Presto Services, which will lead to the Add Value function, and use your cash, debit card, or credit card to reload your card back up. Once your Presto card is reloaded, don't forget to go to the smaller Presto card machines and keep clicking on the mode button until you get to the balance menu. Then, hold your Presto card over the card reader, and then you'll be able to see if the reloading actually went through. Man, traveling by transit just seems so easy and convenient with the help of the Presto card. And the best part is, if you ride transit using your Presto card often, the more of a discount you're gonna get off the standard ticket fares. That's right, adults using Presto will be able to save 15% or more off the standard ticket prices the more they travel on Go. Students who are aged 13 and up, of course they have to be verified with student ID and stuff, they'll be able to save 22% or more. Finally, seniors who are aged 65 and up will be able to save a staggering 55% or more. So yeah, it is unbelievable that there is a hidden perk like this to get people to travel on Go more. Oh, and by the way, children who are 12 years old and under can now travel on Go Transit for free. And finally, did you know that the Presto card can also offer discounts when you transfer to some local transit systems across the greater Golden Horseshoe area? Just how great is that, ladies and gents? But yeah, moving on. One last feature for the Presto card I forgot to mention earlier is the ability to make your own default trips. Now, this function is perfect for commuters that take the same exact route every time. Like, for example, going to work and back. So essentially, default trips erase the need for you guys to tap off when taking these trips over again. Because Presto now knows exactly how much you're paying every time you take this trip. However, if you do decide to stray away from this set default trip, you need to select the override mode on the Presto card reader, and this will allow you to tap off your card at the destination once again. And now, let's talk about the standard tickets for the people here who do not have a Presto card yet. The Go Transit system has a total of 97 fare zones in which the prices for the standard tickets are calculated upon. So currently on Go Transit, you are able to use single ride tickets, day passes, or monthly passes, all of which can be used on journeys between two fare zones, which is not to be confused with crossing two fare zones. To purchase a paper ticket, you can either go to the front desk area at a Go train station, or you can simply just use the bigger Presto card ticket machines, and the screen should be able to walk you through on how to purchase the tickets. The price for your ticket varies depending on if you're an adult, senior, or student, and also depending on how many fare zones you will cross throughout the trip. Now, once you have purchased your tickets, please try your hardest not to lose it when you're riding, because you need it as your proof of payment on Go Transit. And I'm hoping none of you gets caught riding without a valid ticket. And also, I forgot to mention that there is also a digital alternative to paper tickets, which are the Go Transit e-tickets, available for you guys to purchase online using your device.
Stand clear of doors on platform 6, the doors are now closing.
Alright, ladies and gents, and so this should just about be it for my guide to ride on Go Transit. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful on your next commute aboard Go Transit. And so don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be back, guys, for the next video.